Rizal's exile, trial, and death. So the last homecoming in his life. For our historians, he was unafraid. He decided to meet his enemies and to offer himself as a sacrificial victim to to their sadistic lust and unholy designs, for he knew that his blood would water the seeds of Filipino freedom. Zoe Rizal lived in exile in the Pitan, a remote town in Mindanao from 1892 to 1896. Even though he is exiled, he still practiced medicine, pursued scientific studies, continued artistic and literary works, established a school for boys, and more activities. The steamer Cebu found or brought rather result to the Pitan carried a letter from Father Pastels to Father Antonio Abach to inform that Rizal could live at a parish convent. And of course, to live, Rizal has to follow certain conditions. That Rizal should publicly retract his errors concerning religion and make statements that are clearly pro-Spanish and against revolution, perform church rites, make a general confession of his life, and that he is a man of religion. And of course, Rizal did not agree to those conditions. For Father Pastels, he argued that no matter how wise a man is, his intelligence is limited, so he still needs the guidance of God. For Rizal, the Catholic dogmas are misconceptions of rationalism, which is naturalism. So individual judgment is a gift from God, and everybody should use it like a lantern to show the way. And that self-esteem saves a man from unworthy acts. Thus, religions may vary, but they all lead to light. So Rizal practiced medicine in the Pitan and had many patients, but most of them are poor, so that he even gave free medicine. Also operated his mother's right eye. The operation was successful, but mother is stubborn that she removed the bandage, resulting for it to be infected. But Rizal was able to cure it. Water system for the Pitan, since Rizal was an expert surveyor, he supplemented his training by reading engineering books and applied his knowledge of engineering by constructing a system of waterworks in order to furnish clean water. So aside from the water system, he spent months draining the marshes in order to get rid of malaria because mosquitoes are from the swampy places. And then when he received money, if he ever got a rich patient or a foreigner, the money he received from it, he used it to install lighting system in the Pitan by buying coconut oil lamps, since electric lamps were not yet introduced. So another community project is the beautification of the Pitan with the help of Father Sanchez. So with the help of a Jesuit teacher, they remodeled the town plaza to enhance its beauty. So Rizal as teacher, since he observed from the educational system of modern nations, he himself planned to establish a modern college so that he could train Filipinos. So he established school in 1893 starting from 3 to 16, from 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. So instead of charging the pupils with tuition, he made them work in his garden or to his construction projects in the community. He taught them everything that he know, from language, morals, plants, animals, or even to behave like men. Then contributions to science. He explored jungles, coasts, and sent the specimens to the Museum of Europe, Dresden Museum. And in exchange of these specimens, he received scientific books, surgical instruments. He has a collection of shells. And of course, the pictures that you can see was honored by founding a flying dragon, small beetle, and a rare frog. So his inventive ability, while practicing medicine, he invented a cigarette lighter or sulpukan and gifted it to Blumentritt, and also wooden machine for making bricks. Then we have his love life. So since Leonora died, he needed somebody to cheer him up. And in God's own time, this somebody came to the Pitan with the name of Josephine Bracken. So once upon a time, Josephine Bracken, an Irish girl of sweet 18, slender, chestnut brown hair with blue eyes, dressed with elegant simplicity, along with her adoptive father, George Telfer. So they have heard of an ophthalmic surgeon in the Philippines, which is Rizal. And after a whirlwind romance of 1 month, they agreed to marry, but was refused by Father Obach because Rizal again didn't agree on certain conditions. Even the adoptive father is enraged knowing the news of marriage. Unable to endure the thought of losing his daughter, he tried committing suicide, but by cutting his throat, but was stopped by Rizal. So to avoid such tragedy to happen again, Josephine has to go far away with Mr. Topher to Manila. Mr. Topher returned to Hong Kong while Josephine stayed at Rizal's family. So later on, she returned to the Pitan, and since no priest would marry them, they just held hands and married themselves before the eyes of God. And if you hear some news regarding a child or a baby from the couple, unfortunately, pranking and frightening Josephine resulted to premature baby. So it only lived for 3 hours. So Pio Valenzuela and Rizal. So in this guise that Valenzuela will ask for medical advice, he has a blind mind with him, going to Rizal, like they will talk doctor to doctor. Valenzuela informed Rizal about the uprising, also planned to rescue, but objected with two reasons. People are not yet ready, and arms and funds must be collected before the cry of revolution. And of course, Rizal had given his word of honor to the Spanish authorities, and he didn't want to break it. Because Katipunan believed that peaceful reforms were futile and that a more radical approach was necessary. That's why La Liga Filipina is not really, for some of the members, is useless. That's why they opted to join Katipunan. So, from the Pitan to Manila, no longer in exile, Rizal has stopovers from these places. So he visited some friends, visited historical landmarks, then his last trip abroad. Rizal missed ship going to abroad but was transferred to Spanish cruiser Castilla, left Manila Bay and arrived at Singapore, ignored to stay in Singapore and led to his doom. He was given a good accommodation and stayed in the cruiser for a month, but at the time, the Spanish power in Asia went downfall. And he also learned about the eruption of Katipunan through newspaper and was worried because it was violent and believed that it was premature and has lost human lives. But even though he was discharged from all the blame, Spanish authorities were plotting something else. He was advised to stay behind and take advantage of the protection of British law because being under the British jurisdiction, it will provide him a degree of safety from Spanish authorities, who might have sought to arrest or harm him. But Rizal didn't heed the advice because he has given his word of honor to the authorities. So he is refusing to break his word and, of course, led to his doom. So, in the uh, again, even though Rizal was discharged from or free from such blame, there are still authorities that are exchanging telegrams that he was a deportee, he is in monitor, he is under surveillance. Because since he has to arrive in Barcelona because he has to go to Cuba, Rizal applied as a doctor to the Spanish army because at that time they are in conflict with Cuba. And the authorities believe or interpreted his application as a doctor to the Spanish emperor as he will be the one freeing the Cuba. Like he will share liberal ideas or democratic ideas. So he arrived in Barcelona with Rizal as a prisoner and was kept heavy guard and shipped back to Manila. So I included the photos of Intramuros before the barracks and his imprisonment. So during his imprisonment, among the prisoners, he has the most comfortable one, or he is the most comfortable one, the VIP. But he cannot talk to anyone unless it is his lawyer. And that's why you can see that he has an alcohol burner. But if you are not a VIP, then hell will be for you. You will experience beatings of the Spanish forces, or even I don't know what they call. I think it's a needle or something sharp. They will pierce between your fingers. You have to incriminate your fellow Filipinos. That's why they torture you to hell. It is to incriminate fellow Filipinos. Then the last homecoming. So, a friendly officer told Rizal that Madrid newspaper were full of stories about the bloody revolution in the Philippines and were blaming him for it. So he was facing a supreme test, the sacrifice of his life, but again he was unafraid. So realizing the unjust public opinion, he still thanked God for giving him a chance to return in order to confront his slanderers. We have the Filipino patriots such as Deodato Arellano, Pio Valenzuela were tortured to implicate Rizal and also his brother Pashan. He suffered all the pain, but he never gave any statement or signed anything incriminating his younger brother. Although his body was sheltered on the torture rack, even his hand or finger was crushed by the screw, his spirit remained unbroken. It is also because a lot of people talk about Rizal's act of defying Spanish Empire. Many people who read the book, like Andres, was inspired to start a movement. His last days, his defining moments tell what kind of a person is Rizal. It is fake that the death of Rizal ignited the revolution. Rizal died because of the revolution. He became the victim. So, preliminary investigations by the letters and oral testimonies as evidence. The only thing that they allowed him is to choose his defender, but they will give the list of names. And those list of names are all army officers, not lawyers. So he only chose Lieutenant Andrade because the surname Andrade is familiar to him because he met another Andrade in Calamba. And again, reading all the information of charges, he is the principal organizer of uprising. Again, he was accused of being the principal organizer of Filipino insurrection. Like he is the living soul of the insurrection, the founder of revolutionary periodicals, societies, and books dedicated to fermenting and propagating ideas of rebellion. But again, the nature of the case is about rebellion. Sedition, rebellion, and creating illegal association or organization. Sedition, you are trying to make statements, writing statements that would ignite the feelings of rebellion or uprising. Because the judge advocate the time or the authorities and during the trial, they don't believe Bonifacio and friends being the leaders of the Katipunan or the revolutionary group. Like, who are these people? Bonifacio is simply a worker or he works in logistics company. What is his influence? So they have to stick the issue on a well-known personality. Who has the most influence? Who is the popular? No other than Rizal. So how will they do that? They have to link the Katipunan to the first uh, La Liga. They have to equate the Katipunan. So even in the name itself, then Rizal will be really guilty. What is Katipunan? An organization, one league. Who are the sons of the country? If we are going to look on the Tagalog, Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, organization of the sons of the country. Again, who are the sons of the country? Filipino. Filipina. La Liga Filipina. Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. So, guilty. They have to show that Rizal is the one who created the Katipunan. Is he the inspiration of the Filipinos? Either he is not the one, but a lot of people know that time that his writings has an impact. So at 8 a.m. in December 26, the trial was opened by Judge Advocate Dominguez, who explained the case against Rizal, again the founder of Revolutionary Group. The accusation for publishing anti-Catholic, anti-friar are only secondary. As for Rizal, he could not be guilty of rebellion, for he only advised Valenzuela not to rise in revolution. His name was used without his knowledge in recruiting the members. And if he is really a part of revolution, he should be able to stay longer in Singapore. But it was true that he wrote the bylaws of La Liga Filipina, but La Liga is only focusing on education, business, agriculture. That is the goal. But unlike the Katipunan, its goal is politic, politics, political and civic goal. Even the approach, La Liga is through peaceful reforms, peaceful resolution, but Katipunan through armed revolution. Again, his novels were like the talk of the town in a way that Rizal was guilty. Even though, again, he is not part, Rizal is trying to insist that he is not part, but still, the testimony of Valenzuela will make Rizal guilty. Because on some letters, Rizal was invited to be a president or a guest to the Katipunan. Many still believe that Rizal is totally against revolution because of his writings. Eventually, Pio will retract his testimony after some time. He told Pio that they should arm themselves. Again, get the support from the rich Filipinos, or else they will be your enemies. Make Antonio Luna as your general. So if Rizal advise something like this, then he is not totally against the idea of revolution. Pio was saving Rizal by saying that he did not agree with revolution. Well, in fact, he only advised. So, in certain testimonies of Pio Valenzuela, Spanish authorities don't know which statements or testimony to believe in. Rizal also said something during the preliminary investigations, aside from bringing a patient to him. What other object did Pio have going there? Answer of Rizal, there was to be an uprising. They were worried about what would happen to me in the Pitan. Like it was hardly the time to embark on such foolhardy ventures. Time. It was hardly the time. So it means there is a right time. Since it was followed by Rizal, he added that there was no unity, no arms, no ships, no education, or any requirements for a resistance movement. Even to Cuba, they have abundant resources but powerless to achieve their objectives. So from it, it was Rizal's opinion that they ought to wait. So reading between the lines, then Rizal has caught up, being guilty. You wait, you arm yourself, make yourself strong. So that confirms Valenzuela's testimony that he advised. Again, the bylaws of La Liga Filipina, the first is unite the whole archipelago. So for the Spanish authorities, you do not want reforms. Because on your first bylaw, you wanted to be one nation. Then you are guilty. You are trying to separate from us. And of course, Rizal has this vision for the Philippines. It is to help each other, be brothers and sisters. What he wants us to be, we should reflect on that. Are we trying to create a nation that he wanted? Being significant, be brothers and sisters, educate each other, help each other in business, commerce, agriculture. It is not about his last hours, but in our way of reflecting in what we are doing. On some letters of Rizal, he was condemning the revolution, the manifesto to certain people, to certain Filipinos, I think, that Rizal was condemning the revolution that the people wanted at that time, like right now. That's why there are negative things that they say towards Rizal because Rizal didn't accept the rebellion of Rizal. He didn't agree with the present rebellion because it was not yet ready. For Bonifacio, they need to liberate themselves because this is their right. The Rizal is okay with that idea, but we will be able to use or utilize our freedom effectively, efficiently if we are educated. We have our own identity as Filipinos. Because the slaves of today will be the tyrants of tomorrow. That's why you have to educate yourselves first before you govern, or at least fix, arrange what could be the government type of government in the Philippines. And also, that's why Rizal is more guilty, is that his brother Pasiano and sisters Trinidad and Josefa are members of the Katipunan. So nearing his death, it is true that we have Rizal signed retraction, because that is from a testimony of the civil guard. And also, they were wed at that time. Josephine Bracken and Rizal got married. On the last moments, Rizal gave his thanks to his family, to his niece, and to Josephine Bracken a book, To My Unhappy Wife. Because in Josephine Bracken's life, Rizal have described her life as illegitimate. Like she lived her life as illegitimate. And the only thing that he could give, the, the only thing that is legitimate for Josephine Bracken is his love and to marry her. Then she took the book with Rizal's siblings to Bonifacio, and there he translated Mi Ultimo Adios and gave it to the Katipuneros. And lastly, they have embraced its essence. So Polavia has signed Rizal's execution and ordered Rizal to be shot 7 a.m. in the morning, December 30, at Luneta de Bagong Bayan. Then we have now his death. So one of the priests blessed him and offered him a crucifix to kiss. Even the Spanish military physician checked his pulse first and shows no sign of being afraid to die. He requested that he be shot facing the firing squad, but was denied. Because again, if you are charged by treason, rebellion, then death by firing squad. And of course, you will die without an honor. That's why Rizal asked to face the firing squad, because the force of the bullet will push you down and let your face touch the ground. And again, or meaning you will die without honor. And fire was heard, and with supreme effort, turned his body to the right, shouted, "It is done." And it was exactly 7:03 a.m. with face upward, facing the morning sun. 35 years, he died and buried without a coffin in Paco Cemetery. And the authorities didn't even disclose to the public the location, because it might be a place to ignite another revolution, or uh, like this place will symbolize uh, the start of another revolution, the spark, the feelings of freedom of the Filipinos. That's why they didn't disclose rather. That's why there are attempts of the families of Rizal to look. And I think they found the remains in a old part of the Paco Cemetery. They even present a vertebra of Rizal in a museum, I think. So that's all for the death of Rizal. And additional, I forgot. So if you are going to look in the picture, again, there is a firing squad. The first row are the Filipino firing squad. they have to shoot Rizal. I think not all the rifles has a bullet or it is blank, but they have to shoot Rizal, or else they will be the one killed because the another row of the firing squad is the Spanish. So if the Filipinos didn't successfully shoot Rizal, then the second squad, the Spanish authorities will be shooting this firing squad.